Welcome to the NBA Coast to Coast podcast brought to you by lineups.com. Nate and Josh here on a Monday with you guys. I believe we have just 6 games on the slate here. Little one, actually a lot of like 7, a lot of like evenly numbered game slates here on the week. So we have some best bets in this episode. Also going to be looking at player props in this one as well. So sides and totals and the like. Make sure you are subscribed to the channel. We're bringing you one episode each and every weekday moving forward. Let's kick things off with the Pacers and Celtics here. Celtics are very much so undermanned without Jaylen Brown, Nate. So let's jump into why you like the Pacers to cover.
Yeah, I mean, the Pacers are no longer a laughingstock for starters. Like, they've been pretty competitive, which is what I kind of thought would happen when they got Aaron Nesmith back in the lineup, just as far as that dog mentality, right? I mean, and actually, if you look at some of their numbers, they've been real good in their last 7, leading the league in 3-point percentage, 3rd in assist rate, top 10 in turnover margin, while playing fast. So, I mean, there is a look here at the team total at 110.5. I've been looking at Pacers team totals a lot this season because they have not been reliable defensively, but they will crank up the pace, especially at home. Nembhard might be out, so it might be more of a TJ McConnell game, might be more of that up and down style. And I mean, that the Celtics are a little less comfortable in that, and they're a little less able to dictate that on the road. And so, yeah, you mentioned Jaylen Brown being out. That's really the key here, right? Is like, are we going to fade the Celtics because the man who's, I believe, 3rd in MVP odds right now is out of the lineup. They've won the first 2 so far this year. That was against an injured Toronto squad and against the Wizards at home. So not much there to go off. But, I mean, as far as a rest spot, like, yeah, I mean, he's doubtful in part because they're taxed from a rest perspective. 3rd in 4 nights, 8th since January 1st, and they had a West Coast road trip in there. So tough spot for the Celtics versus the Pacers, who are 5-2 ATS in their last 7 because of these good numbers I mentioned, and the 2 fails to cover were pretty close. They're single-digit losses. So the Pacers can play them tough, and it's worth noting that, I mean, in these 2 wins in December for the Celtics, Jaylen Brown, huge down the stretch. 14 points in a fourth-quarter comeback, cooked them with 30 in the one previous. So, I mean, him being out is just really the basis of the cap here.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. I think that's my favorite look on the side here. And I'm not a huge fan of many of the sides in this one with a lot of wonky stuff going on and a lot of teams sort of playing above their pay grade as of late, right? There's a lot of like the Pacers are definitely a much better team than they were previous to the last 7 games. And it's like Benedict Mathurin hasn't even been around for a couple of those games. The last like 3 or 4, it's the Nesmith effect, to your point. Like the defense looks a lot more like it did last year with Nesmith and Nembhard really just like shutting things down from the point of attack onto the wings and the best player on the other team. So I think this is a good look for them. And I think the Celtics are going to struggle to score against a defense that really requires one guy to break it down, and their guy that breaks down the defense isn't available. So it's his level of importance is really heightened in this matchup. But Jazz and Cavs, I know you and I discussed under 250, 251.5 now, just like 1 point up. I think it opened at about 250.5. And I can still get with that. It's just what scared me off of it was just both teams as of late. And really the key here is like when I'm looking at an under for the Jazz on the road, it's because they're on the road. And if you look at their last handful of road games since basically like the start of January, they're up there. Obviously that loss to OKC, that was an OT game, but that ended up going 254. Obviously in OKC, road game, I get the OT part of it. Then playing against the Portland Trailblazers on the road as well, 254. I just think there's a world where they go over, even against Golden State on the road, a Golden State team that's been like top 5 in defense all season. That game got to 237, and this is a Cavs team that is playing a lot faster and a lot worse defense than those Golden State Warriors. I just don't know if the Cavs, how serious they're going to take them, right? So this should be somewhat of a blowout. Maybe you think Donnie's focused because it's the Jazz and it's his former squad. There could be something to that. It's conjecture to me. I do think that like this could go either way. I have no idea if this is going to be a blowout or not because it's so dependent on which Cavs show up. And are the Jazz going to be the team that's sort of just been bringing it more so, not on defense, but hanging around on offense because of the stellar play of Lauri Markkanen, especially even Yusuf Nurkic. And obviously we know what Keontae George has been doing, but he hasn't even been scoring that much over the course of the last like 4 or 5 games. And they're still getting up there into the 250s consistently. So that scares me about it. If the Cavs come with it, though, this is an easy 13.5. And I can even see a game where this is like tied at the half or they're up 2 or something to that effect. And this still ends as like a 17, 18 point spread, because if they're focused at all on offense, then they're just going to get whatever they want against the 30th ranked defense in the league.
Yeah, I mean, not worried about the Cavs offense. I do think, yeah, the under, if you were playing the under, it's because you think the Jazz are not going to be able to score at that level. So that's fair. I do think that the Jazz are going to be more competitive than after giving up 150 in their last game,
Another good
and
point. Yeah.
they get Nurk back in there, and they've been doing this thing right where if they think they're going to lose, they'll play Markkinen and let him spin, and maybe be able to cover because they actually have their guys out there and they're giving
Mhm.
it a good shot. So that's just why I'm a little wary of that huge spread, but
Yeah.
I'm going to race the spread here for the Clips and just take it with Zoo to get a double double. And this FanDuel actually has Zoo at minus 125 for the double double, which is much better odds than anywhere else. And it's actually better odds than when you manually click in the double double, which is rare. But yeah, I think he's a good bet for it here against the Hornets team that, as we mentioned, just scored 150 against the Jazz. That's shooting impossibly well, like historically well. Going to come back down to earth a little bit here against a Clippers defense that's been really good, and really disciplined lately, even after the slow start. Now, you combine their record the last 2 years, they're 41-16 against teams with losing records. The Hornets this year are 5-15 against teams with winning records. They're 0-6 in one possession games. They're also 4-9 straight up after a win, and that was what I highlighted last week when they played the Raptors. They managed to cover but not win. They're now they're coming off this big win, smelling themselves. I have no problem fading them here. As far as Zoo, I mean, 2 light games in a row against in some tough matchups. The Nets and the Pistons, just muddy games. Prior to that, big double doubles. I mean, even with those matchups, he's still averaging 12 and a half boards, 15 points against the East this season. Eight of 10 double double prior to those matchups. And one of the exceptions was only having 9 rebounds against the Hornets, but 9 of 20 rebound chances. So definitely like the odds there of that coming back. Harden has roasted this Hornets defense in recent meetings, and Zoo has eaten as a result, averaging 16, 11, and 5 with a plus 53 in his last 3 against the Hornets. Hornets are allowing 72% at the rim. And there's a chance Kawhi Leonard has to sit here, even though he's played the last couple through the ankle. In which case, then you would fire this late. You'd get much better odds on the Clippers to win. You'd also get more usage for Zubac.
Yeah. Not sure how much the odds would change if Kawhi's out. Then you get more juice on the money line. But the double double probably goes down in price big time to like minus 200 or whatever. Yeah, I mean, I don't know if it matters if Kawhi plays or not. So my preferred bet here would just be to take the double double. You can get minus 125, and I might just leave it at that right now. I'm genuinely worried about the Hornets beating this team. I'm really not joking, and I don't think anybody who's been paying attention recently would be surprised that I'm not joking. So they've been better at rebounding. I think Musa probably starts again. I have no idea, but he and Kalkbrenner are somewhat splitting time with Musa getting a bit more. Still like Zubac over everything. I'm the most terrified of going up against Zubac. Like I really want to take Musa Diabate rebounds, and I probably won't, only because I'm that scared and have that much respect for Zubac down low. There's nobody on the other side that's going to be able to bang with him in the size that he is. So I think the points are really good. I think the double double is a great number, even at like minus 135. I'm happy to drink that juice, and then if you want to bump it up with the money line, okay. I'm just not quite as positive that that's a lock. They are at home, so we'll see. But let me go to my next pick here and just get right into the player props, because I don't really want to touch too much of what's going on with the sides here and even the totals. But I do know that Isaiah Collier is just priced low, and like I consistently feel like the sort of just push the button number that I have for Isaiah Collier is 6.5 assists. Even if I think he's playing 24 minutes, if I think he's playing 18 minutes, I can get him to 6 assists with projections pretty easily. If you look at his track record here, so I have no qualms with this number right here. It's really somewhat due to minutes, but the minutes aren't what you'd think. It's not like I need him to play full where you'd consider him close to 30 or high 20s, and then I feel good about this. Now, I do think that they're going to take this game super seriously. We saw him get 34 minutes in the last game because, Will Hardy just basically pulled the get all of them, get everybody. They just go to the bench, get 5 guys and get 5 new ones in there because I can't watch this anymore from the starters, which was fair. It was brutal to watch against that Hornets squad. But for Collier, like I don't think he's close to 34. The minutes are volatile, but again, the floor being 18 minutes for him or so, I'll get there really, really easily in this matchup. Even if you like the Clippers defense as a starting unit, their backups are not playing defense that like guys like Chris Dunn are they're just so shorthanded on the defensive side.
Yeah, I mean the Jazz are giving up the most points and assists to point guards in the last 7, like way ahead of every other team. Right behind them though is the Cleveland Cavaliers. So yeah, coming in hot, Isaiah Collier, your boy, always the best bet. And that's why on the other side, yeah, I do like the point guard for the Cavs. I also think there's kind of a situation where the Cavs, because Garland has struggled so much early in the season, are really emphasizing his offense, your world type stuff. He's had more drives and more pull-up points than Donnie in his last 7, along with leading the team in potential assists, getting 7.2 dimes per game. And all those, 5 of his last 6 matchups where he's been hot have come against top 10 assistees, at least like above average Ds, including the top 2 in the Suns and Pistons. And he's still getting to about 7. So I really like the dimes here at 7.5. It's plus money against a Jazz team that is by far the worst allowing assists per game, right? I mean, they're allowing 35 dimes per game, I believe, in the last month. And to point guards in particular, 34 points, 11 assists in their last 15, allowing 27 wide open threes per game in their last 7, allowing 35 spot ups threes overall, also a league high. So yeah, it's just Garland getting in there, spraying the shooters, and the Cavs, they've got some shooters out there.
Yeah, finally. I do think Darius is really the difference here in terms of how this team plays moving forward, and his help has been everything for them. I talked about this last week too. Getting into the lane is really going to be helpful, and then he can pretty much do what he wants from there. But there's going to be shooters. Even if you're not a great shooter, you're probably just going to be open, and your percentage is going to go up because this is by far the worst catch and shoot defense in the league. So for the same reason that I would like to take Sam Merrill in this one as well, just 15 plus points. I want to get it up there. Look, he's probably gonna be a really popular bet today. I've been hitting him basically what I'm now calling the just push the button. Just like, don't worry about it. The number's low enough for this guy. Just hit the button and don't worry about the matchup quite as much. 10.5 points, 11.5 points. That's what he's been at. He's been flying over, shooting a really high percentage. But I'm just kind of like, you don't get up from the table when you're on a heater. And Sam Merrill's on the heater, and I've been hitting it every time, right? It's like the roulette wheel has hit black every time, man. I'm just going to stay on black until I got to walk away because I get one loss. But I'm keeping my unit sizes the same. So I'm already playing with house money with Sam Merrill. This is a little bit of the like winning fallacy that you get. Like, oh, well, I've already won with this guy, so I'm going to keep betting him. Unfortunately, I have to play that. So I'm not necessarily calling this like the best EV bet of all time, but the matchup is also just tailor-made. The thing that burns you here is he's been playing closing minutes. So you like him in games where it is a little bit closer, and the matchup might not seem great, a la the Wolves, because he's actually playing closing minutes when it's not a blowout over guys like Jalen Tyson, for instance, right? So that's why I still like him in this one, is in the off chance that this game is close in the fourth quarter, Sam Merrill will be out there to help close things. And if it's not close, I would be strong to believe that like Sam Merrill is a big reason for that, as the best and really the only catch and shoot guy that they trust on the starting lineup. And when he's playing with those starters, like they're looking for him to fire. So
yeah, I mean, it's all about knowing when to fold them, right? And when you've got a hand like you do with Sam Merrill tonight, you're going to play those aces against that Jazz squad. Nesmith, I mentioned him being kind of the mascot of the Pacers squad here, the heartbeat right now. And so this is how I want to bet him, is just leaving the points out of there, even though I think he can score. I think he'll be all over the floor here. Former team theory, of course. Last 2 regular season against the Celtics, 19, 10, and 5 in 36 minutes per game. But I think recently what he's been doing is boarding up and providing some playmaking that the Pacers have been missing a lot, as well as some defense. But he doesn't have to guard Jaylen Brown tonight, which is a huge plus for your rebounds, right? I mean, he can crash, he can pinch down off of shooters. He might get like some Jordan Walsh and Hugo Gonzalez, like guys who are not have to glue to as much nearly. Also, if Nemby doesn't play, then this is going up because the potential assists are going to be dispersed a lot over the Pacers squad here. Celtics actually have struggled lately in 3-point defense. They're allowing 46% on corner threes in their last 6 here. They're allowing the second most wide open threes, right behind the Jazz there. Kind of been lucky with some shooting, but the Pacers, like I said, are shooting well from 3. They're not getting a ton of volume, but 96% of them are assisted. They lead the NBA in assist to field goal ratio in their last 3 here, and 3-point percentage. And Nesmith is a plus 34 in those last 3, as well as grabbing 7.3 boards per game. So he's basically right there with the rebounds. If you want to just isolate that, it's 5.5, and it's pretty even money. But I think there's some playmaking opportunities as well with Nembhard potentially out.
Yeah, and I mean, this is not the same Celtics defense in terms of style. Like this is actually more tailor-made for Aaron Nesmith to hit some shots, the way that the Celtics are giving up spot up. So if you did want to take some points for him, it's a bit higher. Obviously, I can see like once you get to like 17 and a half points, you're like, man, it's still Aaron Nesmith, man. Like I don't know if I want to get there with the points, but I know the hustle stuff's going to be there. So I can understand staying away from the points. Maybe the threes. I'm not sure if they're 2.5. So you start to get a little bit nervous. But again, this is a little bit better matchup overall. And he is on ball. And if there's no Nemhard like in the starting lineup right now, I'm not sure who else would be on ball as much as him. I guess TJ McConnell would have to come into the start. Like Ethan Thompson might not even be available to play in the backcourt for them tonight. So he's just going to have a ton of touches in the game that we do like them against the Celtics.
Ethan Thompson got sent back to the G League, I believe. And
is he not even up still?
Yeah. Yeah, he's on two-way. So
his out tag was two-way, wasn't even injury.
I think it's Quentin Jackson now. Might be the next man up. Yeah, it's just
Quentin Jackson is questionable. This is what I'm saying. Like everybody is. So like all the Jacksons are questionable on this team. But still, like we still like who they're going to have out there over the Celtics without Jaylen Brown in terms of covering that. But let's close it out here with Darius Sharpe. This is like the actual game that I think I have somewhat of an edge on because of just this angle of the Nets are on a back-to-back, and they have shown a very clear-cut correlation in who plays and who doesn't when they're on the back-to-back. And the pattern here is guys like Darius Sharpe, even I'm going to mess it up. Is it Nolan Traore? I believe it's Nolan Traore is going to be out there as well, the Frenchman. I'm assuming he's French. His last name's definitely French. But either way, he's going to be out there a lot more too. And Nick Claxton's guy who's going down from about 29, 30 minutes a night to 24 a night when he plays. It's like exactly 24. It's a very scripted way that Jordy's playing the back-to-backs here for this Nets squad. So Dayron's up about 6 minutes a night. That's pretty much the same that Nick Claxton is down a night when they play on the back-to-back. This is a 6-game sample size. He's gotten 7 boards in every single back-to-back. He goes up from like 9 rebound chances a game to about 14 and a half rebound chances per game in these situations. You can add the points if you want. He's a bit hit or miss. Cam Thomas is out. That helps in terms of shot attempts, but Mike Porter Jr. is in. That doesn't help in terms of shot attempts. So I think you just stick to the boards here with the nice sort of like the hit rate here and the consistency that he's shown there. You feel good about that in this matchup more than anything.
Yeah, it's going to be a real jumbo-sized game with these guards out, and the way Dallas already plays. Right, Brandon Williams questionable for them. So they I mean doubtful now. So they don't have many guards. The Nets have ruled out Yeoman. So yeah, it's just going to be a lot of clanks and a lot of boards, and I think that's really the way to approach it. Yeah, I wouldn't be going over on many points here, and consider under on the 220 total as well.
Yeah, 220 still even seems high. You're right. Very solid pronunciation on Yeoman. That was really solid. I appreciate that. Yep, you nailed that. But that is all the time we have for you guys in this one, though. Make sure you are subscribed to the channel. Coming back each and every weekday with NBA action for you. So until we see you next, happy betting.